Hey, True Believers England team here with part 2 of our discussion about politics in comic books. This time I'm reading a lot of comments from the chat section, and we go over quite a few things that have to do with that, and a few that kind of veer off the beaten path, but whatever. It's going to be a lot of fun. So kick back, relax, and let's get this party started. Let's see. Nolan Nerd saying, don't buy my book, Kelly Thompson. Yes, ma'am. We will not buy it. Have a great day. Declining sales. That was kind of rude because that does exactly what I saw here with the It just brushes aside any kind of criticism. Also, as we see, a lot of people just go straight to the insults or straight to the you are ists or you are isms. Riri Williams was not written as a full developed character. She was... right out the gate, she was better than everybody else to the point where she took over freaking Latveria from Doctor Doom, one of the most powerful and scary villains of the Marvel Universe. And people were like, why are you Mary suing this guy, a girl? Why not have her develop as she goes? We want to see her from point A to point Z. Don't just jump to point Z. And we were called racist. We were called racist for making this. Issue number 8, where she wants her teacher to be racist towards her. We pointed out that that was a horrible, horrible, horrible character moment for her. Oh, well, you're a racist because you don't agree with the fact that Riri Williams is the greatest of all time. Now, I think Eve Ewing, for a little bit anyway, elevated and showed us what the character could be. And that's something also I've always said. There are no such thing as bad characters, just bad writers. And sometimes a good writer could be bad on a certain character. Sometimes a bad writer could be good on a certain character. It's also when politics becomes political cult is when you really have to worry as to helium. And unfortunately, that's what we're seeing with the identity politics. Emerald Centurion is agreeing that the X-Men represented the outsider. Alex Kogan, Chris Claremont was the one who started the civil rights angle for the X-Men, as I recall. Yes, you are correct about that. LK says the voting ended last Wednesday. Robbins beat Lobo. Dang, it was Lobo and Animal Man. I wanted that one to go. Next round of voting isn't until May. Another promotion DC completely botched. Why Iron Man can't be treated like a hero? That is a good question. And, we could point to Civil War. Look, superheroes went up against superheroes ever since Submariner and the Human Torch took to each other. But after Civil War, it seems to be amped up as far as Marvel's concerned, where the villains are, and I understand you want to make an understandable villain, maybe make him a little bit three-dimensional, far beyond the I am evil, hear me roar. But it seemed that villains had become more sympathetic and heroes became more villainous to the point where it's hard to tell who's who. And you had hero fighting hero just as much as hero fighting villain. Who are the great villains anymore? And what happened to the classic ones?
Show me the villains. Well, you know why? Yeah. You know why they can't? It's really just a sexist move on the author's part. Iron Man. Look at the periodic table.
Yeah.
Periodic table. Fe, female, man. There you go.
Okay. Emerald is saying, I mean, if all this diversity is so great the way they're doing it, not that he did not say that the diversity is not a good thing. He says the way it's being done. That's a big difference that seems to be ignored whenever this conversation is had. Oh, well, they just don't like they just don't like people who aren't white. No, you're f***ing it up. Sanaa Grace is a gay guy who wrote a horrible gay character when he wrote Iceman. I had so many people in my comment section writing, so many gay people in my comment section writing about how he was an offensive character. But that's never listened to. It's never listened to. You just don't like gays in comics.
You know,
that's what they come with.
I don't want to steer the direction away from comics, but recently there was an article that came out that a BBC executive said that Luther, starring Idris Elba, is not racially realistic because he doesn't have black friends and doesn't eat jerk chicken.
Yeah, first of all, he's in England. And by the way, guys, jerk chicken is awesome. But yeah. Let's see. I want goofy villain slapstick stories back, says Almighty Jack. If all this diversity is so great, the way they're doing this, doing it, where is America's book? Where is Falcon's book? What happened to the Wakandan Empire book? I'll tell you what, when Storm's walking through New York asking where the mayonnaise shops are, that was freaking racist. In England, the main cuisine is Indian, not Jamaican, says Maranya. Idris Elba is a good actor. In some cases, he doesn't get the best scripts for his character. Yeah, he's an excellent actor. They tried to do that comic book called The Crew. It was canceled before the first arc came to a close. I remember that. Almighty Jack says, like the Ant-Man miniseries that came out last year was fun. I loved it, by the way. That was a very entertaining miniseries. Why can't more books do that? Now everything is glass cannon, Mary Sue into the world nonsense. LK is saying, but the majority of today's creators don't think like that because they have no stake in the success. All they want to do is to tell their story and get the line on their resume. I hope that's not true. In all honesty, one thing I hate hearing about is, and you hear this all the time, we say, oh, well, wait a second. No, you shouldn't race swap. You shouldn't do all that. I mean, they've been this way for so long. You should find ways to tell stories with them. And they'll say, it's just a fictional character. That's the worst freaking thing any writer could ever tell any fans. If you, as a writer, cannot believe in these characters, if you, in your own head, can't make these characters three-dimensional living beings, then how are you going to convince us that we should care about them as if they were? Because you write it down, somebody gives you a check for writing it down. But you are asking us to plop down $4 to sometimes $8, $9, $10 on a book. That's the thing. You have to convince us that they're real. How can you do that if you, in your own head, just go, well, they're just fiction, and you can't see them as real characters?
Well, I have to go to the comments right here. I see In a Disguise, very convincing, by the way. He says the problem is not that there are politics in comic stories. It's that the politics are the story. They are the pure motivation.
Unfortunately, he is correct. This is one thing I've said since the very beginning as well, is that two things. One, they have put the message before the story. Read God Loves, Man Kills once again. Read the Serpent Society. Read the story with John Walker, which he was talking about. The story comes first, but unfortunately, that's not the way it is now. The politics come first. The second is a lot. You see this a lot, by the way, and I will point to John Ridley's The Other Side of the DC History as part of this right now. You do not get a writer trying to find the voice of a character. Ta-Nehisi Coates is very bad about this as well. They don't try to find the voice of the character. Rather, they put their voice into the character. And that, in my opinion, is a horrible way to go about things. And that's part of the problem that is going on with modern day politics. Unfortunately, once again, through this tweet, what I've read was politics in comic books shouldn't be there. Which is ridiculous, and it's stupid. It's a stupid thing. It's a stupid thing to say, because it does show that you have never had a conversation with somebody who feels differently about the politics in comic books today. You have to open up. You have to engage. You have to listen. Let's see. Marvel has done similar things with Thor, Wolverine, Captain Marvel, Daredevil. The names are just promotions now instead of the real character. I've said that about the Elektra thing. Look, I like the Daredevil comic book. I really do. But you have Elektra running around in a Daredevil mask and, oh, it's Daredevil. No, it isn't. Nobody would be looking at her going, oh, it's Daredevil. No, it's not. That's a chick. That's not Daredevil. And anybody knew it was Elektra, they would be like, hey, Elektra, why are you wearing Daredevil's clothes? That's the realism of that.
Now it's She-Devil.
It's, yeah, well, Shauna has that identity in there. It's just unrealistic. It really is. She's Elektra. She's not Daredevil. Let her be Elektra. Let's see. You can do Sam as Cap, but if you don't do it right, then he becomes Black Captain America instead of just Captain America. Yeah, that is true. I wouldn't want them not to acknowledge the fact that it would be different he would be seen differently. I'm not saying racist or you got to include racism, but Steve Rogers is Captain America. It would be kind of the same thing as Elektra and Daredevil. Will you shush? Oh my gosh, don't make me cover the cage. I'll cover the cage. I'm what? No, okay. But they need to write it like that. I'm going to show a little bit. Batman Urban Legends, Red Hood. I know, right? That was really good. That was an excellent Red Hood story, and the reason to buy Batman Urban Legends. I do have to agree with Hendrix on this one. That was an excellent story. At the same time, I can't blame the creators thinking that way, knowing that the core Disney AT&T will treat you like dirt when they use your ideas in other mediums, which we found out through an interview with Ed Brubaker. Is that mini me? Yeah, that's my mini me. That's Puppeteen. I had to get used to the idea, knowing there was a puppet version of me out there. Marcus Hughes says there's a difference between dealing with the era of your story versus inserting your political views onto the page. Stan Lee originally centered civil rights as the setting versus shoving in random racist scenes, says Marcus. Good point to that. And that was one of the things we were talking about. It was how it was done versus how it's done now. It's never what it's about. It's how it's about it. Maranya says, back in the day when politics and social issues were in comics, they presented both sides without telling the reader which side to pick. Today, the stories are slanted to guide the reader. And what I hate is when they flat out call, oh, well, you're a conservative, therefore you're racist. One thing I do point out, and listen to this, whenever you're hearing a story, there's no such thing as a right-winger. There's no such thing as a conservative. There's no such thing as a Republican. It's a Republican extremist. It's an alt-right. It's always a radical person. They never actually just say you're on the right. They never say that you, in my case, I don't count myself as a Republican. I'm a conservative for sure. I'm a constitutionalist. I'm an individualist. I do not give a crap what your ethnicity is. You had nothing to freaking do with it. That doesn't impress me. That just says your mom and dad did all the work. You just appeared because of it. You did nothing to be born black. You did nothing to be born gay. You did nothing to be trans. Sorry. Well, okay, if you actually did do the transition, you did something. That was on you, man. But the point being is, I'm not impressed. I've seen black people do things. I live in the freaking South. I'm surrounded. I'm surrounded by all sorts of ethnicities. I'm surrounded by everyone who's come to Disney and gone, wow, Florida's great. I'm going to live here. There's every kind of person around the world in Florida. You're not impressing me by not being white. You're not impressing me by being white. I don't give a I can't care. It's not within me to care. Now, I love you individually, or I hate you individually, depending on how you are. Are you good? Are you bad? Are you stealing from me? Are you giving? What is your actions? What do you do to make yourself stand out and be a great person? That's what I pay attention to. Who the cares what color your mom and dad were to get you here? It's not impressive. But it is being treated right now that's all it took. Your mom and dad screwed, and now you were created, and that makes you eligible to write this comic book, to direct this movie, to be able. No, you had nothing to do with your demographic. Nothing. Impress me as an individual, and I will not kill the bird into disguise, no matter how much you ask, because I love my wife. All right.
You got the better end of the deal. On my world, the Twiddles could talk.
Right.
so all you hear is, where's Gail? Where's Gail? Where is she? And it was much more annoying than
the standards are getting low. Alrighty, gang, there you go. That's our take on things, and this is the second take for this, hopefully. Anyway, let me know what you think. Comments and likes and all that kind of stuff. Interaction with the video lets the algorithm know you're interested, so please help out the channel that way. And if you don't mind helping out the channel monetarily, go on over to Ko-Fi, drop $1 in the till, helps keep the lights on, helps us keep making videos for you. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.